I just like how all the women are like there's two sides of the feminist movement, and some women are like, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend, and I'm gonna be Barbie, and then the other women are like, this was a tragic setback for feminism.
Yeah.
Like, damn, this is crazy.
Welcome back to Separate Bedrooms. We're sorry we took a week off. Like we're doing pregnancy,
Uh-huh.
a lot of things going on,
Yeah.
but we're back in a very big way. We know last week we gave you Loco Moco, which is also burger, but we have a guest today, Rafael from Prayers, Leafar Seyer. And his biggest music influences are like Pet Shop Boys, Bauhaus,
Mm-hmm.
Depeche Mode, like a lot of British rock, a lot of British synth pop. So one of the things that I ate when I went to London that I like keep making for wifey in the morning is Welsh Rarebit. But I do like a goofy Trader Joe's version of it. I use Trader Joe's unexpected cheddar, Worcestershire sauce, and a Sir Kensington spicy brown mustard. Today we're gonna make Welsh Rarebit burgers, but also to reinforce that cooking is really about technique and that you can apply things from different pantries. We're going to do a Chinese version using Chinese hot mustard, Gongyuan Chu, an unexpected cheddar cheese spread that I melted down. So we're gonna get two versions. We're gonna taste them. We also have brioche and we have English muffin. So we're gonna see which one we like best and then serve it to Rafael. Here we go. Uh, Only the best for my wife and Julius. Wagyu beef. All right. Wagyu ground beef burgers. Nice and fat. I want a nice fat content for this.
Did you season them?
Seasoned, yes. Thank you. Seasoned, salt, cracked black pepper. I'm gonna tell you that this is the thing we're doing with the cooking now. I'm gonna tell you the processes and walk you through. Then we could just get to the news and have fun. But basically, uh, I've already I've already browned the onions in butter. All right. I sliced them like this, then placed them on toasted English muffin and brioche. They're gonna go back into the broiler after I sear the hamburger patties and then dress the hamburger patties with the unexpected cheddar Welsh Rarebit sauce. Without any further ado, take it away, babe. News. What's going on?
Welcome to the news.
Yes.
There's a lot going on. This was like a crazy week leading up to news. I feel like
Glaciers are melting, all kinds of
okay, there's
shit.
a
I know
lot of
you go with
climate.
yours. Don't
Okay,
listen to
so
anything I'm saying.
we'll start with like the climate disasters that are happening. So in Alaska, two-story houses are just like falling into the river because, or maybe it's not even a river. It is a river. It's called. I'm gonna butcher the name of this river. Juwanye. Juwanye.
You definitely had not just spoke to that river. You're like mispronouncing a dead river.
I've never been to Alaska. Why would I know how to
No, I'm
pronounce this
kidding. It's
river?
fine. It's fine.
But yeah, a glacier melted, house fully went Titanic and sank into the river,
Yes.
which is just crazy because every climate expert kind of knew that this was going to happen, but I think the timeline on it was
Surprising.
maybe the next 10 years, maybe the
Yeah.
next 15, 20 years, but this shit is happening now.
I've been following this stuff for a while because like anytime you're looking to live in LA, people would be like, yo, watch out, the coastline is gonna like fall
Yeah.
into the ocean. And then also same with Florida. Like people would always tell me Miami's gonna go underwater,
New
Florida will go
York.
underwater.
Yeah, even New York.
New York, the Maldives.
Yeah.
It is to me and to a lot of scientists a surprise that this glacier melted so fast and these houses just fell into the fucking water.
You know what I find interesting about that too? It's this is just like my junk awareness of it all. But there's still so many people investing in waterfront property. Like I think Jay-Z and Beyonce just set the record in Malibu for like 200 million
Yeah.
waterfront property. Kim Kardashian is on Hulu showing off her new Malibu house on the beach.
Yep.
People are still investing crazy money in waterfront property, but I'm like, are they just stupid or
Are they trying to
is
collect
it
insurance money? Is this like when Tony
right?
Soprano burned down Artie
The boat?
Bucco's restaurant?
Oh, I was gonna say the boat, but yeah, the
Yeah,
restaurant too.
you know?
But
But
to follow that, there's also insane fires happening in Maui right now. The entire island is just like on fire. It's crazy.
Prayers out,
Yeah,
Alaska,
it's
Maui.
really really devastating.
We felt like we
Um,
had to start with the natural disaster just because, like, we had just spoke to Mother Nature. But prayers out, like, genuinely, prayers out, condolences.
yeah,
People got to figure this shit out. What else is going on, babe?
I would love to talk to you about the Alabama River boat brawl.
This was incredible.
Yeah,
Sounds like a natural disaster, but even better. This was my favorite fucking news of the week.
this is insane.
Yeah. Shouts to the dude that just like Bobby Shmurda tossed his hat up and was like, "Let's go."
Well, he
Fucking
got
fought 5
bodied.
people.
I feel bad for that guy. He literally was just doing his job.
Yeah.
They're calling for him, like, can you move this boat? It was like a party boat.
Yeah, it
Or
was a pontoon boat was there, and then they were
yeah.
trying to park the riverboat. So he gets off to talk to them, and these fucking white fools just jump him. And
But their jump's so goofy. Like, it was
yeah,
crazy. Like, looking at that white boy, like, hurl his body on him, I was
yeah.
like, what are you doing?
I would
Or-
also love if you guys have the Fox News coverage. Look up on YouTube the Fox News coverage of this because I've never seen Fox News so objective and bland in covering an incident. They refused to acknowledge that there was like racial undertones to this. They were
yeah,
just like,
wouldn't acknowledge it.
no, they were just like, an employee got jumped by men from a pontoon boat and just like skirted the issue of race. But it's like, dude, this is Alabama. A man just doing his job is asking a boat to move,
Yeah.
and some white guy, you can just tell in this white dude's head.
Yeah.
He's like the type of white dude that's probably online complaining about Barbie right now.
Yeah.
Was just like, fuck this. And it's just like out of nowhere
Well,
jumps
it
this
looked like
fool.
there was a guy who probably owned the pontoon boat, and then it looked like his son, or
Yeah.
it looked like a younger man. So it was probably his son or his son's friend or someone. They probably had been drinking on the boat all day, and he was just like, I'm gonna pop off,"
Yeah,
which is insane.
insane. But
But I really think shout out to Aquaman.
Aquaman, the swimmer.
That
Bro.
was insane.
If I had a coworker like that was gonna swim across a river to be outnumbered with me, because by the
Yeah.
time Aquaman gets there, he's wild outnumbered by the
Was
fucking.
that his coworker, or it was
Yeah,
just,
it's a coworker from the boat.
oh, I thought it was just a guy who happened to be on the boat. I didn't know he like worked.
I'm
with
pretty
it.
sure Aquaman was a coworker.
Okay.
And he shows up there, and then they're outnumbered still, and he unleashes like a fucking wild combo
Yeah.
on the dock.
After swimming, like swimming that's like physically taxing shit to do, to jump off a boat, swim against the tide and then hurl yourself up on a dock. I've like gotten stuck not being able to get my body onto a dock. That shit is hard. And then he started swinging.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the two of them held off like 6 to 7 dudes.
Yeah.
But then the next part, then a dude from the boat comes with a chair and hits like people and
I
kicks them into the
know.
water. I like chair guy too. Chair
Well, there was
guy
like so
on it.
many angles of the chair. I saw multiple people get hit, and I saw like there was like one woman just like sitting down, and someone just like, bam.
Yeah.
But
My
I don't
favorite
know.
meme was somebody was like, "Yo, I'm gonna tell my kids this is the Boston Tea Party." It was excellent. It was excellent.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, that happened. I hope that the guys that started the fight. I know there's like warrants out for their arrest.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but
I
like
think 3
legally,
people got arrested.
Yeah, like legally, I hope they take action and they get fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That was one of the wildest racist things I've seen in modern times.
For sure, and they keep trying to say it's not a hate crime, it's not racism, and I'm like, it is.
You have one black employee asking a boat to move, and a mob of white dudes jump him like that.
that
On
feels,
its face,
yeah.
is this racist?
And I don't know if they've changed their tune at all, but I think I was reading on CNN that they investigated it as a hate crime, but there was not enough evidence to label this a hate crime.
Yeah, that's
which-
crazy to me.
Listen, I don't know enough. I'm not here to label anything a hate crime or not a hate crime, but it feels racist. It's in Alabama. It feels fucked up. I
Yeah.
feel like if the guy working there was white, this wouldn't have happened. They probably would have just moved their boat.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely. And we may never know, but also just I'm like this type of behavior, it's like we can't stand for this shit anymore.
yeah, no.
You know? And they're lucky nobody like died. That
Totally.
was pretty bad. They were jumping homie for a minute.
Yeah, they really had him kind of, as goofy as they all were, they kind of had him hemmed up a little
They
bit.
did.
And not like no fault of his own. If you have like I don't know, there was probably 7 to 10 of them
Yeah,
on him. That's just a lot. That's a lot of power,
it's a lot. It's a
especially
lot.
on your like you're not expecting it. You're just like you're just at work.
What was wild to me too, and I have to point this out, is the white women there just watched it happen. Like they just watched their man just jump this dude for no good fucking
Yeah,
reason.
I would just I don't know.
That was wild shit to me. I'm gonna add a little bit
Um,
more cheese spread here.
Speaking of like legal legal action, Tory Lanez got sentenced to 10 years in jail for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot.
Son, I have to tell you, the worst display of basketball I've ever seen in my life was at our basketball run. Tori decided to play Benny Blanco for, I believe, like $10,000. And I don't even know if they ever
Like a
finished one-on-one Benny Blanco versus Tory
for
Lanez.
$10,000.
Worst basketball game I've ever seen. Benny somehow wins. Benny won.
I mean,
It
at
took
least it was like a
forever.
fairly matched up, like based on height
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah. From
No
that,
hate or shade.
I'm just saying, from that display of athletic ability, Tori is not gonna have a good time in jail. He's in trouble. I saw Benny Blanco wash him in a one-on-one basketball game.
Can you name one Tory Lanez song?
Oh yeah, the one he copied from Brownstone. Say it, right?
Oh
He
yeah,
he
you're
took
right.
the Brownstone sample.
You're right. You're right.
I believe Benny ripped that for him.
I was really thinking about it when I was like writing down all the news. I was like, do I know a Tory Lanez song?
Yeah, have
Like,
you spoken? Have
have
you
we
have you
just
spoked?
spoken?
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy because he really didn't need to go to jail. I think initially she wasn't pressing charges. And she was kind of like, that sucked, but let's drop it. And
Yeah.
he did this whole like internet smear campaign against her.
She
Got a
had to
bunch
do
of
her
people to
thing.
kind of turn on her and make her seem like she was crazy, essentially gaslight her. And then it just so happened that he ended up going on trial and now he's doing 10 years. And I would like, what do you think happens to him? He does 10 years in jail. He probably does 5 if he's on good behavior, right? They probably like cut it down to 5, 6.
I think he's gonna do.
You
Yeah,
think he's gonna do
he'll
all
do at
10?
least. I feel like he'll at least do 3 to 5 of that.
Yeah, 3 to 5.
He'll do three to
That's a
five.
big, I mean, think about like Bobby Schmurder. He was so hot when he went in and then he
Yeah.
came out and nothing, you
Nothing.
know, like he couldn't sustain it.
It's
So
hard
like
to come
what
out of
happens
jail.
to Tory Lanez? Like this is it for him, you think?
I think it's different because honestly, the only rapper I can remember coming out of jail and succeeding and still doing well
Yeah.
is Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
Like when Gucci Mane came out, like it was on. But even like I remember, I don't want to say anybody personal, but it's just like that shit changes you. I think Tory Lanez is a full rap.
You think so?
Like he may have a life in Canada after this, like
He's from
playing,
Canada, right?
yeah, or maybe when he comes out, he challenges Benny Blanco to like $100,000 basketball match. Maybe he should just like practice playing basketball in jail
Yeah.
and like come challenge Benny when he gets out. That's I think the one move he has left.
Okay. I mean, I'm into that kind of.
Yeah.
I would watch.
I would
for sure.
watch. I would
Not
watch.
to support Tory Lanez. I would just support Benny Blanco.
I would support Benny Blanco. Man on his last chance. Kind of it'd be like the Jonathan Majors character from Creed, but one-on-one basketball with Benny Blanco.
Wow.
Who's also in trial? Jonathan Majors.
Yes, he is also on trial. I don't really know what's going on with that. It seems like they went on trial very quickly. He was like,
Yeah, they trying to handle that.
Yeah, he seems very confident that like this is gonna work out for him.
Yup.
But-
So I'm gonna do the Chinese hot mustard gongrianchu sauce on the English muffin ones and on the brioche. I'm gonna do this cheese sauce I mixed here: Worcestershire, brown mustard, and unexpected shaved cheddar. This will melt down beautifully on top of this burger. And whichever one we think tastes better is what we will be serving Rafael.
Amazing.
All right. Sorry to interrupt the news. What else is going on?
This isn't
I
news.
love our
but
rhythm today.
I feel like we should talk about how we beat the entire game of Donkey Kong in the last
Yes.
2.5 weeks.
That is news. Look, this game I believe came out in 2018, but we got breaking news. We beat the game.
We beat the game.
Yeah.
It
That-
took us It took us 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing that's happened during this pregnancy, my two favorite lifestyle things has happened. I
Yes.
started eating breakfast and we started playing video games again.
Yeah. The video game renaissance in our house has been really fun.
Yeah.
And then,
Show this right here. Oh, thank you, Julius. Look at that. Look
yeah,
at
breakfast
that.
has been fun. Eddie used to be one of those people that would fast, like intermittent fasting. And it just sucked for me
This sucks.
because no one wants to eat alone,
I
And
hate
he'd be
our
like, I can't.
oven.
Are you okay?
Bro, the oven, something is up with this fucking oven. It's always, you guys see, it's always smoking crazy. The
Yeah,
smoke alarm's going off. I'm like, bro, this oven
I know.
is
Our oven
insanity.
sucks. We like have a missing cabinet.
Sorry, you were saying about
No, I was just
fucking
saying.
breakfast.
I was saying it's cool that you eat breakfast now. Like I fuck
Yeah.
with you more. Like I feel like our relationship is better
Yeah.
that you eat breakfast.
Yeah. Breakfast is important.
It is. It's like a bonding experience between the two of us.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, especially with everything going on, breakfast is a nice time to just like kind of marinate during the
Yeah.
day
Yeah,
before we have a kid and we like it's his breakfast in the future.
totally.
I
Yeah.
may never eat breakfast again, so it has been nice to eat breakfast the
No, we're
last
gonna
few
eat a lot of
months.
breakfast. You
Yeah.
know what I almost had the urge to buy Eggo waffles yesterday.
Ooh. Oof.
Like blueberry Eggo waffles.
Oof.
And I was like, I can't do that. I'll spiral.
Mm. What's been your favorite breakfast meal?
Um, my favorite breakfast meal has probably been like it's so simple, but it's just been whenever you make bacon and eggs,
Mm-hmm.
bagel with like some avocado, like chopped up avocado, cheese, and then I kind of like make a breakfast sandwich out of all of it. That's
Yeah.
my favorite. It's so simple, and honestly, every time I eat it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so full.
You didn't like the Welsh Rarebit pork chop breakfast?
I
That
didn't
was
eat
kind of,
that.
yeah, with Dr.
No,
Drew.
I just had a piece of
Oh, you had the
bread.
bread.
I
You had
didn't
the
have like the
bread.
pork chop and everything else, but
That
that
was
looked
one of my favorite
crazy.
ones.
Yeah,
I
that
did
looked
a
wild.
vinegar pork chop with a Welsh Rarebit little toasty. It was
Yeah.
very nice. And
I also love when you do fried rice for breakfast.
mm,
Like that's fun.
I like fried rice for
Yeah.
breakfast. Fried rice for breakfast is a great time.
Yeah.
I'll also do noodle soup for breakfast, but you're not like a noodle soup for breakfast person.
No, I am, but I feel like it's so hot and
Yeah.
I'm like running hotter now that I wake up and I'm like, I can't have soup right now.
Julius, do you eat breakfast?
Sometimes.
What's your go-to breakfast?
Mm, I like the combo of bacon, egg, and fried rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
I like
Breakfast
breaking the
fried
egg
rice.
and like the yolk.
I'm a big breakfast fried rice dude.
Yeah.
White onion, do a little onion in there too.
I also
I
have to
gotta have some
say,
onion.
I fuck with a breakfast burrito. I kind of fell off.
Look at this.
Whoa.
All right. The Welsh Rarebit burgers. So we will transfer this conversation to the table
Yes.
because we have just finished this dish.
We can't just finish.
This is incredible. Wow. Oh,
Wait.
oh. This looks good.
We had just eaten Welsh Rarebit.
Oh.
Do
Welsh
people in England
Rarebit.
this is regular for them? Because like I've
Yeah.
never encountered this,
A
but
lot of menus, not the burger, but the Welsh Rarebit. Pretty
Okay.
much every menu, it's like avocado toast. It's on there. Like I
this is
saw it
the
on a lot of
English
menus.
avocado toast.
Yeah, but like I also could have been on like, some fancy schmancy places. I don't think so, but yeah, they have. This is quite common on a lot of menus. The Welsh Rarebit
I like
burger.
this.
So
I feel like the theme of this year has been very English.
yeah, because I spent so much time in London this
Yeah,
year.
you did. I love that you did English muffin.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cut it. Any last news before I transfer over?
I mean, we could talk about the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer, the Barbenheimer
Yeah,
craziness that happened. I mean, we
we
saw both.
could. We
I
did
give
see both.
Barbie an 8.2,
Hmm.
and I probably give Oppenheimer like a 9.3. 9.7 maybe, like somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
What about you?
I will say this, Oppenheimer is the best epic film I've seen since There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of critics that feel There Will Be Blood is the greatest movie of the 21st century so far. And I really think Oppenheimer gives it a run for its money.
I agree.
I think that There Will Be Blood probably does like culture and pocket scenes and gets into like frontiersman life a little bit better than Oppenheimer does. I don't think like when you watch Oppenheimer, you feel truly transported to like that era in time.
Yeah, There Will Be Blood feels a little bit more meditative.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little slower.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like thrust into a world. You're kind of gently placed.
Yes. And you really get to look around it.
Yeah.
You get to stop and look around the world. And it's a slower burn. Oppenheimer, though, it's, I think, much more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's got more of a plot engine.
I feel like I would watch both again, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it's a really good movie when I would watch it again. But I would watch Barbie again with like my mom or with girlfriends to get that experience. I would watch Oppenheimer again to like really see what I missed.
Yup. Julius, I would absolutely watch Oppenheimer again. I also give Barbie an 8.85. Like, I truly like Barbie, and from like a business and directing and producing point of view, of course, babe, I feel both films pull off very, very difficult feats.
Yeah.
Like, the stuff you have to go through to make a big studio film, like Barbie, is insane. The amount of notes, the expectations, like people's constant hand wrangling over like tone and pace. Greta Gerwig nailed that thing, had it
Absolutely.
in control, and basically Trojan horsed Mattel and delivered a film that I think really represents like a survey course on feminism quite well.
I agree.
I
I
think
think it was feminism for all and very accessible and very digestible and understandable. It wasn't this like complex, nuanced feminism. Some people were complaining about that, but I feel if you're making the Barbie movie, which is Barbie's for everyone,
yeah.
that's how the feminism should be presented.
Not even should, it's like what you can get through.
Yeah.
I think it was absolutely what she could get through, what the audience could understand in a 90-minute film that like involved licensing from a giant brand. But seriously, I don't think anything was compromised. I think what I find so impressive about what Greta Gerwig and that whole team did was that they made an uncompromised, big box, mainstream feminist film that honestly, like, men learn a lot from. I went and I watched and was like, fuck, man, like, I'm so grateful
Yeah.
for you. And I read a lot of feminist literature, but it's nice to be reminded visually and to sit in someone else's world and mind and be reminded of these things from a different perspective.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it was great.
I thought it was
I think it might have been Greta Gerwig's best movie.
Yeah, I think so. I absolutely think so.
That's how I feel, but you went in, which one's that? Which one's which? That one's Chinese mustard. This one
Yep.
is
That's the British Worcestershire. I will say lastly about Barbie, I'm a Frances Ha fan. I like Lady Bird. I really think Barbie, it's just a magnificent feat.
Yeah.
It may not be her favorite film, but
I think
what she
pulled off with
accomplished
it.
is
Yeah.
crazy. Lifetime achievement.
But I just love an English muffin.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like this one better.
Yo,
The Chinese mustard.
The Chinese English muffin one bangs. It's more subtle.
This is definitely like more classic. I've never had this before, so I don't know what I'm talking about when I say it's more classic. But I feel like this feels English to me. The flavor profile, but this is crazy.
For real, try the Chinese one. But Julius, take your taste, bro. What do you think, Julius? Oh, Julius just did the goddamn face.
The cheese on this one is so melted, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know where it is.
It's the spread.
People need to bring back doing more shit on an English muffin.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that was a thing. Like growing up in my house, we did a lot of English muffin shit, but I feel like out in the world, like for a second, there was a lot of English muffin sandwiches on a menu, and now there's not.
Yeah. I'm a big bacon, egg, and cheese English muffin guy. I'm a
Mhm.
big tuna melt English muffin guy and hamburger. Yeah, I think the English muffin won.
Yeah.
Damn. This is so good. I was going to give this to him. I'll make a fresh one. I'm eating this. Yo, Julius, how you feel, dog? Here, these are the last two.
You're eating his?
I'll make him another one, yeah. You're a wrap. This is all you're not going to eat?
Listen, the labor and delivery nurse came over
Eat
the
for
other
two.
day.
Eat for two.
It's not eat for two at this point. She showed me a diagram of what my internal organs look like right now. And my stomach is up here and it's laying flat. And every time I eat, I get so fucking full. And I will insert a picture of the diagram
We
in
have
here.
to. My favorite diagram was the one of the husband massaging a foot in the delivery room. I was like, I could do that.
Yeah, that's your job. Just massage my foot. Keep me chill. But yeah, my stomach is like fucked up right now. There's no space. When they say eating for two, they lied. If you haven't had a baby and you want to get pregnant and you're like trying to get pregnant or you are newly pregnant, and you think this is going to be the best eating adventure of my life, it's not. I could eat so much more when I wasn't pregnant. And now I get heartburn and shit. I've like,
She talks so much shit. She had breakfast in bed today. What did you have for breakfast in bed? You did not move from bed. You had a limeade. There was bacon. There was avocado with unexpected cheddar.
but that's why I
There's
can't
everything
eat this
bagel.
right now. I can't go for seconds, is what I'm saying. I just ate a burger. I can't eat two. Pre-pregnancy, I could eat 3 burgers. Easy. I wouldn't even think about it. I'm not saying I'm not being fed. The rate at which I'm
what you
consuming
mean.
is slowing down.
It's true. I'm glad you fuck with this. I feel like I won the championship. It was so fucking good.
When you did the Chinese one, like what was the trigger in your head that was like, I'm gonna put Chinese hot mustard?
I was just thinking, like, when we did the Chick-fil-A, it was so fire to have like this idea, but with 2 slightly different flavors. I was like, let's do it again. Cause I like when there's an idea and you can like kind of diverge.
Yeah.
Also, because I couldn't decide between a brioche bun and English muffin, because I like English muffin, but brioche felt proper. So it's like, let me do 2.
Yeah. We were in the grocery store last night, like struggling.
We went to Lazy Acres. There's a new
English
grocery
muffin.
store here. Lazy
Brioche
Acres.
bun. And we were checking out, and the woman, dead seriously, asked. She looked at us. She said, "You guys Instacarting?" And I was like, "Damn, we look fucked up right now."
I'm so rinsed
I was
that
like,
a
"We
woman
look
at the checkout
crazy."
looked at me and was like, "Are you an Instacarter?" And I was like, "I love this. That's better than people coming up to me going, 'Are you David Cho?' Like, I'd much rather be I love David Cho. I'm just saying, it's fun to be recognized as an Instacarter."
I was like, "Damn, we look fucking crazy at 8 p.m. in the Lazy Acres."
Yeah. I'm gonna go get Rafael.
Let's do it. Let's go. We ready to rock and roll?
And I got the smoke machine on.
I love it, man. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
but
Where
you-
I sit, Papa?
You can
Oh, right
sit
there. You
right
the wifey,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Amazing.
it.
Thank you, bro.
Blessings, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Thank
tell
you,
you
bro.
about this on the show. I
Yeah.
made this special for you.
This
Woo.
is crazy.
Let's go live, baby. Let's go. Come on, man.
I put a lot of thought into this today for you because
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, it could be too easy to make you like Mexican food or Chinese food.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, most of your influences is like British rock, British synth pop.
Absolutely.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bauhaus.
Me and
Yeah.
her was thinking what to make you because I hadn't seen you in a few years and I got like the most love for you, dog.
Thank you, brother.
So I took the English Welsh Rarebit, which is their like cheesy toast with Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
And made a hamburger for
I
you. out
can't
of
wait,
that.
man.
So that's like,
English burger.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Welsh Rarebit Burger. For
Love
you,
it, bro.
But
Let
he
me take a
he
bite.
remixed it a little bit.
Oh,
He
I
put,
got some
like,
cebollitas
hot
in there, grilled
Chinese-
cebollitas.
Yeah.
Grilled onions. So today I had an Uber pick me up, right?
Yeah.
And we just started talking about food randomly because he
Yeah.
was Mexican and he was talking about like I eat everything and anything he was telling me. And I brought up a couple dishes and I said, you fuck with nopales? And he's like, yeah, I fuck with nopales, but they're always so baboso. How does that translate in English, baboso? Baba. It's like a lot of so cactus. You know how
Yeah,
it has
yeah.
a lot of what do you call that? The
Fibrous.
not the fibers, but it's almost like saliva.
Yeah. Slimy.
Slimy
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
aloe vera.
Aloe
Like,
vera.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so cactus there's a Mexican dish, nopales, and a lot of people you can use it for whatever, but it has a lot of slime.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't know if you know this, but when my mom used to make nopales for me, she used to throw a spoon, like a silver spoon, in the dish while it was boiling. She would cut them up into pieces, throw a silver spoon in there, and it would cut the slime.
Oh,
There would be
wow.
no slime. And he was like,
Interesting.
oh, mind blown. I got to try that. I'm going to try it next time you make some nopales. So then he shared with me, he said, hey, something that his mother shared with him was like, when I would eat really spicy food and it was overwhelming, she would tell me to eat the leaf of the chile. Because, they would get chile from their backyard.
Yeah.
So he said he would get the leaves from the chili plant that he ate, and eating the leaf of the chili plant would kill the spiciness.
That's great. That's like how people put cork when they make octopus.
Okay.
In the boil.
Yeah.
Mr. Chow, stop chewing your bed. No. My bad. My dog.
Yeah, he's acting
My
right.
dog, when he smells food and he can't eat it,
Yeah, he gets a
just
little-
gets frustrated. No, Mr. Chow, you can't eat your bed. No.
That's a handsome
That's
dog.
his.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
I love him.
And then he also shared with me that one about the chile, and he said about the onion, which is what triggered the thought of the onion. He said when you're cutting onions, you know how it'll make you tear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What my dad used to do when he would cut onions, because I worked in restaurants, he would put a big old glass of water, and the water would work. It would kill the fumes.
Yeah.
But this guy said that if you get the skin of the onion, the peel,
Yeah.
and put it under your tongue, and you cut the onions, that it won't.
That's
that'll
crazy.
That's crazy. I've
keep
never
your
heard
eyes
of
from
that.
watering. Let's
Yeah,
try
I
it. Let's
think,
try it and see if
wet-
it works.
yeah.
She taught me with the paper towel with water.
Yeah, you like just it's the same thing as water. You just take the paper towel or whatever and you soak it and you leave it right next to the onion and it absorbs everything so you don't because I will cry.
Yeah,
No.
me too. Me
Cutting
too.
an onion, I am so sensitive. I'm like, though my day is ruined.
Yo, this is bomb, by the way.
Bro, what do you
Amazing.
think?
Crazy
Amazing.
good, right?
A
Yo,
10 out of 10, baby.
Yeah.
Top
yo, I'm
shelf.
so sorry on the pod. It's funny. We keep it real. I have to. No.
Yo, we keep
No,
it real.
that's your bed, bro. That's your bed. Stop eating your
So we have
bed.
two. We have a girl and a boy, and the boy only listens to Eddie,
Yeah.
and the girl only she'll listen to me.
Yeah. The girl like her, the boy like me is funny.
I love
that's,
that.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
But bro, I ain't seen you in a minute. How you been?
Man, I've been good. I have a 4-year-old son.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the
Thank
way. You guys have a,
you.
do you know what you're having?
A boy.
Boy.
Yeah, we're having a
Oh.
son.
Excited,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
We excited. We
Yeah.
excited. And then you also moved. You to the
To Indiana.
in
I'm in the
Indiana.
sticks,
Oh,
man.
shit.
Moved to this tiny little town called Vivi, Indiana.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
spelled Vevay, Vevey, like in Switzerland, Vevey.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, man. It's I'm in the middle of nowhere. The little town that I'm in, I think it's like either 12 or 1,700 people. It's
Wow.
tiny.
Damn.
Yeah, tiny.
That's like
there
how
are-
Dave Chappelle be living in that small town in Ohio.
Man, I love it, man. I love the contrast because when I come to LA for work, I can get the friendships and I work and get the whole LA feel. But I love going back to Indiana, man. The people down there are salt of the earth, They're
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
down to earth and they look out for each other. It's been a new experience because I grew up in the city. I grew up in San Diego. I grew up
Yeah.
in gangs, and then I
Yeah.
moved to LA, and I got consumed by the whole LA lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I've never been outside of the city, and I thought I was gonna hate it. In a sense, not hate it, but I thought I was gonna be bored. But there's so much to do,
Whose
know.
idea was you, wifey?
My old lady, my
Word,
wife.
word,
Yeah,
word,
it was
yeah.
her idea. We bought this house down there. It was the house. My wife loves Victorian homes.
Oh.
She loves fixing them.
Yeah.
And she's had tons of them. She has. We had a Victorian home here in Los Angeles, and there was this. She follows this Instagram called Old Victorian Homes of America.
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
So there was a house there that she loved that she discovered through this Instagram, and then one day it just came up for sale, and she was like, it was during like COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, we were bored, and she was like, yo, let's take a PJ down to Indiana and like check out this house. I was like, well, let's go, So we
Yeah.
did, and beautiful. It looks like a Harry Potter castle.
Yeah.
With 14 acres, just wildlife. There's
Wow.
deer just roaming in the property, wild turkey, tons of different like beautiful animals. There's frogs.
Amazing.
It's just
Oh, you really like Game of Thrones, Harry
Game of
Potter out
Thrones.
there.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Maybe you can pop it up
Yeah,
so
we'll
people
pop it
can
up
see
there,
it.
yeah.
But it's gorgeous, man. And lightning bugs, you know, in the night, you see all these little
Yeah, you don't
flickering
get see that
lights.
shit
Oh
here.
man, mind
Yeah.
This
blowing,
is you didn't
magical.
grow up with this shit.
None of it.
Yeah.
I grew up with bullets flying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're there, and my son loved it. We did it for our son. So we
Yeah.
were gonna first keep both. And I'm sorry
Yeah.
I moved so fast, but
No,
No, you're
good.
good. It's
You're
like,
good.
oh look, it's a lightning bug. No, it's a 35. It's a 22.
so we fell in love. We fell in love with it, honestly.
Mhm.
And it was gonna be our vacation home. And then the more we went, we were
Yeah.
like, let's do this full time so our son can grow up in nature, and
Yeah.
that's why we did it.
We think about this all the
So
time.
we were gonna do both, and man, honestly, it brings this. So people don't lock their doors over there,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
People care about you in a weird way. I feel I've been living there for 3 months, and in those 3 months, I know everyone in that town.
That's
And it's funny. There's no Ubers. There's no nothing like that, right? So
Yeah.
people rely on each other.
yeah.
So for me to fly out of Indiana, I have to drive an hour into Cincinnati,
Mm.
Damn.
there's no Ubers, and a lot of times I have to leave like at 5 a.m, and you know, I don't like my wife driving me that early. I'd rather let her sleep, and my son. So I just asked my neighbor, and my neighbor's like, "Yeah, no problem."
Bro,
Wow.
stop playing.
Yeah. How many friends here do you know that would wake up at 5 a.m. to give you a ride?
I
Not
got one friend, Dr. Drew.
Yeah, he
This is
would.
probably
Yeah.
Dr. Drew.
I have none, man.
I
have
feel like
friends.
Julius will hold me down.
I think my boy
Julius would
Vampiro
hold me down.
would.
I'm not saying
Vampiro,
it's
my
just
boy
here.
Vampiro
Yeah.
over there, he would. But it was very rare. I have a lot of.
My
Yeah.
boy Omid, you know what? The pandemic, Omid did drive me to Bradley. So
Yeah.
those were my three friends
Yeah.
that would drive me.
But it's very here. I didn't have many people that I can rely in that way. You
But
know.
people also just like, well, even if you do, like the relationships you have and bonds with people here, they won't go out of their way.
No.
Like they'll be like the airport,
Come
like
on,
they'll
Uber
be like
there.
it's LAX,
Yeah.
like come on, whatever. Like there's just
Bro,
not
I've had-
that relationship.
Another thing that happened. No, go on with your
Oh,
thought.
I was just gonna say, we even have friends here where it's like, if you're at a party on the way home, it's like 5 minutes out of their way to drop you off. They're like, oh, it's a little out of the way. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
40 now.
Yeah.
It's like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna ask twice. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You say
absolutely.
no once, you
For
said
sure.
no
Yeah.
For
forever
sure.
to me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that. I'll ask you one time.
Check this out. So we move in. People are coming, knocking on our door, bringing us home cooked meals,
Stop.
This is
And-
stuff
and
that
not-
I think
and-
only happens in
and-
movies.
dude. And they're not like.
Like truly.
And there's boundaries too. Like they bring the home cooked meal,
Yeah.
introduce themselves, and they leave. They're not like, hey, invite us in.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, welcome to the community. Here's some
It's
food.
so beautiful.
And I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. Great food too, you know?
Yeah.
And it happened for like a week straight. We were like,
Could you imagine though? Like I honestly, and this sounds really bad, and this is just kind of like how it is though. Like I feel like if somebody knocked on our door and gave us food in
You'd
LA,
be like,
I wouldn't
throw it
eat
in the trash. It could
I'd be
poison.
scared. I'd
Yeah.
be like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
who was that? Are they trying to rob our house? Are
Absolutely.
they casing our house? Like that's how my mind works.
Yeah.
Like someone will like we'll run into a neighbor on the street and I'm like, do they live here? Is it
And
like
you're
casing
right to
our
do
shit?
that because
Like,
it's LA. You're right to
Yeah.
do that. It is, you know,
Yeah.
big cities are dangerous, you know?
Bro,
Over there, listen, this is
That's
when I was
beautiful.
living in Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles in the house that we were living in for around 4 years. Yeah, my son's 4 years old, so around
Yeah.
4 years. And to this day, I don't know who my neighbor is.
Yeah.
I never met him, and he was so many. There was so many times that I tried to introduce myself to my neighbor. There was one occasion where my son was probably like around 2, and I had my son in the stroller, and I see my neighbor's driveway door opening, and I'm like, oh, perfect time to introduce myself.
Mhm.
So I waited on the sidelines, and he saw me. I saw him driving out, and I'm like, you know, waiting, and I see his window roll up. He rolls up his window, doesn't look in my direction, and just takes off.
Crazy.
And I was like, okay, dude, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mhm.
You don't want to meet me. That's fine.
yo,
Mhm.
So that was the last time I ever tried to introduce myself to him. But in Indiana, where I'm at, dude, people are just waving at me like, hey, welcome to Vive. I love it over there, man.
let me tell
Yeah.
you this story. Well, I got my parents a crib in Orange County. We did it together.
Yeah.
You know, it's like ours. We got it from our parents. It was wonderful. But we were staying there a little bit because it took my parents a little bit to get here from China.
Yeah, we wanted to set it up, like furnishing, Wi-Fi, all that shit.
Yeah. The first day, there's neighbors that come by in a car, and then they like had a kid like kind of like go in the yard, ring the doorbell, open the doorbell, and then people took photos and then they drove off. I'm like, bro,
Oh, you
that's
serious?
crazy.
Yeah.
The second one, a guy, he was kind of nice. He was like, yo, I read your Wikipedia. I heard you like hip hop. I love hip hop. And I was like, cool. He's like, come over to my house. We'll listen to hip hop. And I was like, I'm
Yeah.
Are you maybe,
Yeah.
and guess what the third person was? And I started to stay in, and I didn't want to like say hi to people because it was just fucking weird. But then I felt bad. This guy wandered into my garage, looked confused. I was like, yo, you all right, man? Like, you looking for something? He was like, yeah. Are you Eddie Wong? I was like, yeah. And he goes, you've been served. I was
Serve him with
like,
fucking
bro.
paper.
LA, bro.
I was like, dude, don't even try with neighbors here, bro. The third one was a
Yeah.
fucking service officer, whatever.
Yeah.
I got fucking
Yeah.
served.
That was crazy.
That was wild. That was wild. That was my experience with neighbors in LA,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I had one nice neighbor in Mid-City, Mella in Mid-City. That was it.
We have good neighbors where we're at now, though.
Yeah, right?
Like,
Yeah.
everyone's cool. We don't, like, we're not close with anyone, but I feel like everyone's cool and, like, says hi and knows each other.
But you should know
Yeah.
your neighbor.
I think
Yeah.
so.
I feel like
for
it's important
sure.
if some
Yeah.
shit goes down, you know?
I tell him all the time, I'm like, when we're out of town, like, there's
Yeah.
packages, whatever, like,
Yeah.
we should be able to
We
just be like, hey, can you grab my thing?
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, it's not a big
Like
deal.
Nico's cool here,
Yeah.
and then here on the other side, they be listening to my dogs bark and they
Oh
don't
my God,
complain.
they're
They're
so
really
sweet.
nice.
Because
really
we have,
nice.
like, we have these two dogs. They just
Yeah.
have puppies.
They're beautiful,
We
man.
have 4 little puppies
I love
barking.
Dobermans.
Yeah. You want a
Yo.
puppy?
Yeah.
I have a 4-year-old.
See,
You know,
I'm trying to
listen,
keep one.
I have a
I'm
He's
trying to
4-year-old.
trying
keep
to keep
one.
one. And I'm like, babe, there's a baby. Like,
Yeah.
3
Oh,
dogs
no,
and a
watch.
baby is
It's
insane.
full time, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's full
don't.
time.
I gotta
with
let
my
go.
I
son,
was like,
full time.
yeah.
And same with the dogs, right? I mean, you got to
It's
All full
oh,
time.
for sure.
responsibility.
For sure.
I
I
spend
like
at least
kids.
5 hours a day with the dogs.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
It's meditative, and they reward you for your friendship, kindness.
Yeah,
You know, it's
for sure.
better than a
Absolutely.
human relationship.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure.
can't
They're
be.
loyal.
Yeah.
But, you know, with people, loyalty has an expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what happened to me?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
talked
yeah,
about it
yeah,
off
yeah,
camera,
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
for real, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you got. Yeah, that shit
Yeah.
wasn't cool. I got
But
you.
it's good because you know what? In a sense, people show their true colors, and then you don't invest no more time or energy into them, you know. And it hurts at first, but then
Yeah.
at the same time, it's part of the process, man. We're always in this journey. We're always going to be shedding our skin, you know.
And this
Yeah.
is the thing with psychology, right? Is an interesting thing because I've known you for several years now, maybe like 7 years. I've known you
Absolutely,
since
yeah.
you came to the Vice office. I've watched you pick people up, prop them up, support them, put them ahead of you. And it's funny, no one's rewarded you for that, like kindness and love and loyalty. And it reminds me, my therapist was like, Eddie, you can't save people. They're only gonna resent you for it. Like, just be
Yeah.
you. Just be you.
Facts. There is a thing, man, that happens with people, and I've seen it with others, and you know, my dad used to tell me, listen, if you want to get rid of somebody, lend them money.
Yeah.
Lend money to people you don't like, because then they'll be out of your life. But
Yeah.
people that you care about, be careful with that because you might lose them too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, so it's an interesting thing.
It's a
you know?
complicated psychological thing where
Yeah.
it's almost like they can't receive that level of kindness.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with
But-
me, there's never no strings attached. You know what I'm saying? I never bring things back up if I lend someone something or they don't. You know, I have a friend recently, you know, I know he's going through some hard times, and I lend him something. I said, he's like, I'll get you on the first. And he did it. But I told him, hey, listen, don't start avoiding me. I love you. That was a gift, bro.
Yeah.
I know you're going through some stuff. If you can get me back, get me back. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just don't look at me differently. And let's continue to be friends, man. I don't want to lose your friendship over, you know, $500. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
It's not worth it.
It's
Yeah.
not worth it, you know? And he was like, man, I appreciate that, you know? And I was like, yeah, man, I did it. I love you. I don't want this to be a thing that, like, you know, gets in the way of our friendship and stuff, you know?
Yeah. And then, where do you think it comes from for you where you always like put people on your back? You want to like
Well, I
save
think
them?
I grew up being I'm the oldest in my family.
Okay.
And literally, there's an interview that my mom did right before my mom. I love my wife so much. I want to give a shout out to my wife, Kat Wendy. I love you so much for doing this for me.
Legend.
Legend, LA legend. So before my mother passed away, we all knew she was on her way out. My wife took it upon herself to go do a full personal documentary on
Wow.
my mother, and she did
That's
this
beautiful.
beautiful interview, and fucks me
Yeah.
up. So after she my mother passed away, and then and it was like a full-blown production, you know, that she
Wow.
did for her, and it was just my mom really beautifully shot. And on my birthday she gave it to me,
Mhm.
and I didn't know. And my mom had already been passed away, been buried and stuff, and then on my birthday she's like boom. And I was like, man. And then there my mom is sharing stories, and one of the stories that she shares, it says she regrets having made me be a provider. You know, she was like, he was my oldest son, and I put too much pressure on him because he was the oldest, and he was the first. Basically, I was the first one that came from Mexico that had to go out into the world to learn the language. You know, I come
Yeah.
from Mexico as a 4 year old. My parents don't speak the language. Now I'm thrown into this new world,
Yeah.
you
You had to
know,
be the parent.
and I had to learn the language. So now I'm trying to translate things, and you know, so I went out into the world, and I remember I was always treated as an adult, and I always felt like my family needed help, my
Hmm.
siblings, and I became a provider at a
Yeah.
really
You
really
guys
young
have so
age.
many
At a really
similarities.
young age I was just providing. I didn't
Yeah.
stop providing until I got married, because my wife is on such a higher level than me that I never knew what it was like. So every time I dated somebody, it was I didn't realize that people
Ooh.
I have stuff to offer.
Yeah.
You know, it was never genuine. So I always was like, well, I always felt at least I'm on the end of giving and never having to need.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing this than doing this.
Yeah.
So I would talk myself into being okay with being the provider, you know, to everyone. And then when I married my wife, and she was like, fuck, you know, who she is.
Yeah.
And she was like, nah, I got it. And I was like, oh shit. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna take care of it. You know that my first birthday party at the age of, I think I was 46, is when I had my first birthday party.
Stop.
And my wife threw me the first birthday party. I never had
Wow.
birthday parties. I just grinded.
Dude, this is
Yeah.
this is real crazy. My 40th birthday, you know, no one had ever thrown me. I remember my parents threw me a party at a McDonald's once, and when I was like 6 or
Yeah.
something like that. But the first person to set up an evening overall and take me out was her.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
was it
Yeah.
was it. Like,
Yeah.
cause I'm a provider, and
Yeah.
I'd even ask my best friends, like some of my really best friends, I'd be like, yo, why is it like you don't like try to take care of me? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And cause I'd be like, yo, I always feel like I'm taking care of people, but no one's taking care of me. And I never know how to ask. I'm too embarrassed to
Yeah.
ask. And my homies were like, you don't seem like you need help. And I'm
But-
like, I'm
Mm.
dying.
Yeah.
I'm dying for help.
And it's not even a financial thing. It's just an act of
No,
kindness.
yeah.
It's an act of love.
Just
For
to
sure.
know somebody appreciates you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
I am going through a weird thing right now that's very interesting, and it's funny. I'm staying at Charo's house. I love you, Charo. You know who Charo is? The
Yeah,
Charo.
Charo. Yeah.
From Spain,
Yeah.
amazing guitar player. So I'm staying at her house in Beverly Hills, and man, her and her sister are nourishing me in a way that I've never had. My wife gives me this too, but like, listen, they wake me up, they cook me breakfast, they make me lunch, they make me dinner, and they're just like, what do you need? They're constantly like
Mhm.
trying to serve me. And her son was there today for a little bit, and he was in and out, and I was like, he's like, how you doing? I'm like, man, I'm gaining weight staying at your mom's. And he's like, she'll do that to you.
Yeah.
And I said, but I'm loving it. I need it. I realized that I need a mother like love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, I need
Yeah.
some nourishment, like soul food, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice for men to get pampered too and have love. I can go out all day and you know, work and but I think it's a balance. We all need it, you know. We all need to be served in different ways, and not just physically, mentally, spiritually, but we need love, you know.
Yeah.
And I try to give that love out because I want to be treated with the same way. So I treat people the way I want to be treated,
Yeah.
but it never comes back, you know.
Yeah.
And when it does, it means so much to me. So me staying at Charlie means so much to me that I have someone that, you know, cooks me dinner and sits there and just wants to hear all day. I mean, I get that with my wife, you know, but my wife, it's different because it's my wife. It's nice to get it from someone that's like, not related to
Yeah.
you. They're just like genuinely
Yeah.
want to see you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like if another woman took care of me, she would stab them.
Yeah.
But like,
No.
but like, no,
No.
she's really, like I have some really, really good friends over the years who like, it's a handful that when I've really hit bottom, knew how to pick me up. Like my boy Rafael, his wife, Christina, like in my worst moments, she really knew to come pick me up. Cause my boy Raf was my manager and he didn't know really to be tender with me. And
Tender.
because same with you too. It's like you don't seem like a dude who needs much help. I didn't seem like that much. But Christina would jump in and be like, yo, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm not. I didn't say anything because nobody asked.
No, we
I'm
need
not.
tenderness, man.
Yeah.
Listen, my whole life has been full of just like pick yourself up, you know? Pick
Yeah.
yourself
Pick
up and
other
keep
people
going.
up.
Yeah,
Pick
Yeah.
your fam
pick
up.
people up along the way.
It really is tough at being an immigrant here because like it's a job in your family. You have a function as the first one to speak English,
Yeah.
to do a
Totally.
lot of things and figure a lot out. Like my parents speak cool English now, but that took
But
a
they
long
still rely
time.
on you, right, for
They
certain
rely,
things. Yeah.
oh yeah,
for
they rely
sure.
on me for a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
like, and my other brothers, but when I was young, it was me. Like
Mhm.
everything was on my back
Absolutely.
in a lot of ways. And like my dad is great and he did his thing, but it's just like I don't think my parents ever stopped looking at me as like an investment or like a worker or like somebody to be like, yo, clock in, clock out. Like, and that was their way of love. Like
Yeah.
business is their love language.
Yeah.
Like our family runs like a business, but this is really hard. I'm literally going through it now with my parents. I'm like, yo, I don't want a business relationship with you. Like, can we just be friends?
Yeah.
Like, I want to be friends.
Yeah.
And they're not resistant. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Well, they probably didn't have it themselves, you know?
Yeah.
They did it.
You know, so it comes from that. Like I was telling you, shout out the Hoffman Process, Hoffman Institute. You know,
Yeah, I
I
wanna
was
get
telling you, I
into
just
this,
got
yeah.
we were talking about
Yeah,
it, right?
I'm
You've heard of it.
dying to go.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What an amazing
Dude, let's talk-
experience.
what is Hoffman?
So the Hoffman Process is it's a retreat, 7-day retreat. The minute you walk into that retreat, they take away your cell phone. So you have no contact from the outside world. Once you're in the process and you're surrounded by nature. And there's other individuals, not many. I think I don't know how. I think maybe the most is 20 people. And they'll break the groups into 4 groups, five groups per therapist,
Mhm.
and you do multiple sessions throughout the day from the minute you wake up till I think the end of the day. Different forms of psychology and therapy, and it's dealing with it's very personal. Even though there's other people involved, they still do it the reason I can't talk too much about it, and I'm sorry because I could go into heavy detail.
Mhm.
All I can say is that it's amazing. Research it if you can, but the reason that I can is because if you were to go, or if you were to go and I was to tell you what happens there, I would
Yeah.
ruin it for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because
okay.
it's part of the healing process.
Right.
So that's why I can't really go deep into details, but it's changed me. I can tell you that it deals a lot with the inner child,
Mhm.
and it allows you to, like I was telling you earlier, a lot of times when someone upsets us, it's the inner child that comes out first, and then you deal with whatever's in front of you as the adult you. But it's really the inner child that's being affected by the insult or whatever it may be that's
Mhm.
triggering you at the moment. It's the inner child that first feels the hit, and it's the one that steps out, and then you as adult Eddie or adult me or you,
Yeah.
then we deal with whatever's issues in front of us, and we might deal with it based on the traumas that we had as a child. But they teach you to be able to acknowledge that, process it, and then be able to, what they call, like, not summon, but to call upon your higher self, which is your consciousness, right? And maybe deal with the situation in a calmer matter. Because I used to have a really short fuse.
Mhm.
So what it's done for me, it's given me that little time that I need to not blow up. Because I used to be hair trigger. The minute someone says something to me, I would just act on it. I'm very emotional. You know, I'm extremely emotional, that doesn't help. I'm an emotional person, so someone, you know, says or does something that hurts me, it I go to 100. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
so I go to 100. And so the Hoffman process has taught me to like take a pause and deal with it, understand why this is affecting me, and then after that I can move on without starting a fire, because it's easy to start a fire but it's hard to put it out.
Bro,
Yeah.
we've been learning that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. How'd you hear about the Hoffman? I'm gonna turn the oven
I
off.
had a friend who went, I think, probably maybe right after COVID, like 2020.
Yeah, I wonder if I was
And
in there with them.
maybe.
We'll talk
I will
about it
talk
later
after.
on, because that's around when I went.
Yeah. And I spoke to him after, and he was like, this changed my life. Like, it's
Yeah.
incredible. And if you can go, you should go.
And listen, you don't have to be a person like me that has a lot of issues to go. You
Yeah,
don't. You
it
don't have to be
feels
someone
like-
that has a lot of traumas. You can just go, man.
Yeah.
Listen, there were people in there that I can't mention who they are, but that are like in real life healers. They're real healers
Yeah.
who heal nations, right? And they're trying to find healing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There
You
was
understand?
something. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand. There was
Because
some-
even the healer needs healing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you take on all that shit, you know, and like,
And
when
it
you're
was
that
mind blowing
person-
because I was like, why is he here? Everything he was saying, the healer, mind blowing. I was just like mind blown. Like I was like, man. And then it's funny, you walk out and those people become longtime friends. You know, it's
Yeah.
like they
You
become.
go through shit in
Yeah.
there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're
And-
like
and-
divulging your soul.
And it was interesting because some of the things that he said were so. It was almost like God was speaking to you, yet he's there as a hurt individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's what they say. It's like the sad clown, right? Like,
Yeah, the sad clown.
It's like when you talking about the sad clown and your experience, it reminds me of something she's talked to me about in astrology last week, which is about
Yeah.
planets exalted and in detriment. You should tell.
Ooh.
yeah. Okay, so we're super into astrology.
Mm-hmm.
What's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank
you.
We're in
Happy
Leo
birthday.
season right now.
There's a Kazemi today.
Yeah.
That's why it's like kind
Yeah.
of perfect. You here, I'm gonna get you a paper towel.
So I'm a Leo, but my son is Leo.
Your son's a Leo as well?
My son's a Sagittarius.
Ah, I love
No,
Sag.
so my son's a Sagittarius. That guy's a Sagittarius, my
Yeah.
bodyguard. He's over there. Hey, and I didn't bring a bodyguard because I'm coming to Eddie's podcast or because I'm in LA. It's just because we got a show after this and we're
Yeah.
going to Arizona. But sometimes I do walk around with a bodyguard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's better.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say? I'm a Leo, but my moon and my ascending are both in Gemini.
Word, I'm ascending in
Yeah.
Gemini.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
sense. So with me, it's a little bit interesting because I'm a fire sign,
Yeah,
but then I have
you have
these
the
two
air.
air signs behind me just making the fire grow. So it makes sense that
Yeah.
I would be
You
in a
have-
band and
Yeah.
you know.
But also Mercury, like he's the same. He's a writer. Like you,
Yeah.
like that Gemini wants you to communicate, and it's like
Absolutely.
by any means necessary.
Absolutely.
Like-
So you're a Gemini. That's
Gemini
He's
rising.
a Pisces.
Yeah,
and
I'm a
okay.
Gemini rising.
Pisces, Gemini, right?
Yeah.
my
So
wife is
you're-
a Pisces.
Bro, see,
Yeah.
like I'm like super emotional, very
Yeah.
sensitive, existential.
We're
but the
both
Gemini
Pisces,
gets
so
me to
it's
talk.
like it's a lot of water. He's
Mm-hmm.
a Pisces. I'm a Pisces.
Yeah,
But I'm a Leo rising. So it kind of the Gemini Leo thing kind of
it
works.
works.
Yeah.
What's her
Yeah.
birthday?
March 8th.
Wow, we in a line.
He's March 1. I'm March
What?
6.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And 8,
man.
you know, the money, the
Yeah.
number of success and money.
Yes.
Yeah.
8.
And then
Yeah.
my wife makes
Yeah.
sense.
8 or 28.
I'm so happy for you, bro.
Me
Yeah,
too, man.
like-
What a blessing, bro.
Yeah.
To be, I mean, the woman of my dreams, bro.
Yeah.
And the most importantly, like, man, I'm
Can I ask
celebrated
how y'all
every day.
met? Can I ask how y'all met?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I met
Yeah.
my wife, Fudge. Now that I'm a parent, I've been a parent for a long time. Let's see. I was gonna say 14 years, but no, it's got to be like 20 now, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
I met her before she was famous, before her celebrity. I met her on MySpace.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, and I saw a photo of her and her work, and I was just blown away. I, sent her a DM, and she, made an appointment to meet up with her to get tattooed. But I just wanted to meet her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I drove up to LA and I met her and we hung out a couple times, just like on some, on some homie shit.
Yeah.
And I just thought she was cool as fuck. And then, you know, our lives went a separate way because at that point I had my restaurant and I was fully committed to that. And then she slowly just blew up. You know, she
Yeah,
went
yeah.
and did the whole LA Inc. thing. And I was like, whoa, I even come out in the first LA Inc. episode when it's the grand opening.
No way.
No
Yeah, you
shit.
see you kind of see the back of my head because it's like a
Sure.
party
Yeah.
that I'm wearing this distinctive shirt that says Diamond Dogs on the back that I made. You know, I like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make
yeah,
clothes
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you just see me walking. You just see me walking in the party. You know, at the grand opening. So and then we just kind of lost. You know, she went and became Kat Von D, and I just
Yeah.
was doing my restaurant thing, and we didn't meet up again until I started doing music.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was 10 years ago.
Yo, our shit is so similar and wow, how we both came through restaurants but ended up where we supposed to be on the.
Yeah.
Well, as
on
an
the
immigrant,
R&B.
of course we're gonna go to the
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
almost
the
like
There's
natural
always
way.
money in the banana stand, you know?
Say this all the time.
it's an
Yeah.
immigrant thing, yo.
Yeah.
Tell you, it's like you know how they have memes or things on social media that says like, tell me if you're this and that, and then it's like to me it's like,
Yeah.
tell me if you're an immigrant. I came up through restaurants.
Yeah.
100%.
If I see
Yeah.
restaurants, if I see dice, I'm gonna get busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'm not
absolutely,
gonna
yeah.
walk past it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there's money here. Let's get busy. You
Yeah.
know?
Listen, when we were doing this show, when you were saying cooking, I was like, we were both gonna cook. I was like, let's go. I'm gonna show you my knife skills.
We do it sometimes.
Yeah.
I like
No,
cooking
for
for
sure.
people. It's
Yeah.
mad fun.
Yeah, that's your love.
You're
language
good at
for
it, brother.
sure.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dude, that's cute though. I love that y'all
I
known each
know.
other 15, 20 years and then y'all
Yeah.
just kept tabs.
Yeah.
How did you
Well,
reconnect?
Through music. So I was doing this song Black Leather, and at the time I was working with Travis Barker, and I gave him the idea. And we weren't like in contact no more, but I was like, man, I have the idea for blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, that sounds great. We should, no, actually the idea was for a music video. And then he was like, oh, I know Kat. And then he reached out to her, send her my music. And she was like, she wasn't like, do I know this guy? I think it was like I had changed so much, you know?
Yeah.
And then when we met up, I said, man, screw the music video. I want to do a song with you. So we did a song together and a music video. And then after that, we just stayed in contact.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until like, I don't know, it was like a year or two after that when finally, we made it official.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Got
But
it.
we
got
had
it.
already been married. We made it official, but not to the world. So we
Yeah.
had already been seeing each other. We were already married.
Oh wow.
Oh.
But we didn't tell the world.
Yeah, but
I
you
remember
sent
the
it.
invite you sent me. That
Yeah.
was the illest invite to a wedding I'd ever
Yeah.
received.
What was it?
It was like black and it was
Yeah.
like leather.
Oh, amazing.
And
Yeah.
like it was a very, very, very complicated invitation.
That's what
Yeah.
she is,
Still.
bro. She goes all off. Pisces,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It was
Very
fire.
She goes
creative.
all out.
Yeah.
So we were already married. So what you saw, so that when we sent you our wedding invitation, we were already married. But that was more of a celebration.
I
But
love
we
that.
told people it's
Yeah.
our wedding.
Yeah.
But we had already been married.
Yeah.
But that was just more like, well, now we letting
I love
people.
that though. You like
Yeah.
preserve it. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you're so outward, like your expression in the world is so outward. I'm like that. I'm like
Yeah.
inward. Like I'm like, hey, you want to like show everyone everything. And I'm like, no, like I can that just be ours? Like
Yeah.
let's save that. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't. I want it to be ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's funny. I always am like, yo, people can learn from it or connect
Absolutely.
and
For
like
sure.
Yeah.
and like emotionally connect and feel. For me, it's not like look at all my shit. It's more just
No,
like
but that's what I
but
mean.
yeah.
You
but
it's
connect
important.
with people. Like you find that like gives you energy.
Yeah.
It makes you who you are.
And
for
that's the
me.
beauty of life
Yeah.
and people, right? I don't think there's no right or wrong
No.
way. It's just whatever is working for the person. And it's funny, some people, I guess this is not on the topic, but it is in a sense that like, so some people say, hey, give me the blueprint. And I'm like, well, my blueprint might not work for you.
Yeah.
And your blueprint might not work for me, you know?
It's totally
like-
it absolutely won't.
Yeah.
no.
Nobody's the same.
Nobody. So
And
same
it's
thing
like-
with the way we deal and handle things, you know?
Sure.
I mean, to a certain degree, we're all same, but different.
Yeah.
We're all humans. We're all experiencing the human
Yeah.
experience. We're
Mhm.
all, but it's different, for all of us. It's unique to,
Yeah.
to who we are.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think you and I both learned through relationships, but it's incredible. It's been incredible to see like you meet the person who knows how to care for you,
Yeah.
and same for me. Like
I
it
never
had
had
to be
that.
her.
Listen,
Yeah.
the last, you know who you are. The
Yeah.
the last, dude. Listen, the last
No.
chick, the last chick that I dated
No.
before my old lady, bro. bro, she was literally like, "What are you gonna buy me? How much money you make?" type shit.
Oh.
Like
Yeah, that's
cold,
icky.
like not even like, and I was like thrown off by it a little bit too. Like I remember when she's like, "Yo, I got this new place. I need a new bed," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." She's all, "No, I need you to buy the bed," and I was like, I'm a why? Because you're gonna sleep in it, and I'm like,
That's crazy.
wait,
That's
what? And like no
crazy.
shame, you
What
know?
is that? Like whoever buys the bed gets to sleep in it? Like
I was just
Yeah,
like,
I know,
oh.
right? What if somebody else buy
there
you
was
the
other
bed?
people like on their
I was
fucking
just
mattress
cold like that.
tops.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't say that as cool as I did, but
No, for
she
sure,
was more
for
slick
sure.
with it. You know, she
Yeah.
was more
Yeah.
slick with it.
Yeah.
Really, you know,
No, it's
Medusa style. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
she
I
was like
was just like,
running a little
wait,
game.
what? Like, and I was just like, nah, I'm from the streets. I'm not buying nothing. You know?
Yeah.
And I remember I did help her one time. You know, because if I'm dating someone and I got you, you know.
Yeah.
But it got to the point where I was like, oh, okay, now you're this is something else, and it's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She had this event to go through, and she was like, man, I need to go to this event. I can't And I was like, hey, don't trip. You know, it's important for your career. It's your career. I got you. I'll buy your plane tickets. I'll get you the hotel, and I'll put some money. Like it was for her career. You know, she did this little small film thing, and they were showing it at Canes or something, and she wanted to fly in. I was like, I got you. Like, I'll take care of it. You know, I had some bread, so whatever. But I think when I did that gesture, it became, oh, now I need this. Now I need. I was like, hey, and then she was, hey, how much do you actually make? And I was like,
crazy.
That's crazy.
I was like, don't worry about how much.
Let
I
me
make.
find the door.
Yeah.
Let me find the door right
You know?
here.
Yeah.
Yo, when like dating someone who's like a keeping up with the Joneses type, that will teach you some shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then when I got with my old lady was just like, nah, I got you.
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa, it like messed me up. It rocked my world for a little bit. I had to allow almost her to like take care of me. It was, I didn't know that I was needing that, you know? But
was there like a minute of like unlearning?
yeah, a lot of
behavior?
unlearning. Still to this
totally.
day, you know, it's, I love being married, by the way.
Yeah.
I
Bro, it's
love
the
it, man. I
best.
love being a family man. I
Yeah.
love having my family. Like it's like it's given me a purpose. Now that we can find purpose in anything, right? Before I was doing my music, but then there's purpose that just feeds yourself and feeds the ego. There's you can always find purpose, but when it's outside of you and it's purpose, like my wife, my son, my family, you know.
Can I
It's
ask you
different,
a
bro.
question? I gotta ask you this, right? Because you love family. Me and you both love family. We love taking care of people. Yo, I have multiple friends, acquaintances that will just like see something going on in my life with her, being excited for baby, and they always say shit to me like, "Oh, get ready, bro. Get ready. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna hate it. Like, oh shit, marriage." And I'm like, yo, I love being married to her. I love doing this. Like, I don't have an urge for anything else. Like, how do you feel? Like, because you know how there's always people doing that Al Bundy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
throwing salt in the game.
No, it's because they're having a bad experience.
I was
you know?
gonna say it's a lot of projection.
That's them. They're projecting. And listen, it's not easy. There's moments, you know, and everything. There's moments where I'm just like tired, you know, and my son wakes up and he's like jumping on the bed, jumping on me, and I'm like, but then when that happens, I take a moment and I realize like, man, I gotta enjoy this because it's gonna fly. It's gonna fly.
Yeah.
You know, I have a 31-year-old daughter. I love you, Ashley. My daughter's 31 years old, man. That flew, bro. And so I'm like, from that perspective where I'm like, no, I gotta be present and I gotta enjoy all of it and learn from the difficulties, because that's really where your character is.
Yeah.
Your character, when you have a bunch of money in the bank and everything is going your way, that's not your true character. Your true character is when like shit's falling apart. Let's see who you are now. You know,
He says this all the time.
let's see who you are. When the world is against you, let's see who you are. Let's see who your friends are. That's when you learn who people are. Not when fucking everything is coming up roses.
Yeah, when everything's great, everyone wants to be around.
You know?
Everything is easy.
So for me, I'm a look in the mirror type of guy in the morning and like, hey man, checks and balances. Who are you? I love you. I'm proud of you. Go out there, do your best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do. I literally have conversations with me in the mirror. A lot of these songs, there's a song that I put out last year on the Cholo Goth album. It's called Young Gods Never Die. And in it, one of the hooks is like, I can feel your anger. I can feel your pain. That's the hook, you know? And I was talking to myself, you know, I was going through a lot of stuff when my mom was dying, the shit with Day Parlay. That was hurting me, you know, all that stuff was hurting me. And I was being real with myself. I was like, man, I could feel you. But I had to acknowledge that. I had to acknowledge that I was feeling that way. I had to acknowledge that I was feeling the pressure of all of it, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, outside to the world, you know, still life was great. I had my beautiful wife. I had my son. I'm living in a fucking mansion. You know, I don't have to worry about money, but I'm still human. And things outside of that were
Yeah,
applying pressure to me, you know, we're applying heavy pressure. No amount of money. I can't save my mom from dying, you know, from her cancer. It doesn't, you know, those things, you don't have no power in that. It doesn't matter. So regardless, but that made me, that's where my true colors. Am I gonna now be a bad father or a bad husband because the pressure of the world is coming down on me? No, I still have to put on that smile. I still have to take my son to the park. I still have to be kind to my wife. I can't just be like, oh man, this sucks.
Yeah.
Even though it does. Even though it does, you know what I mean? So I'm learning, you know, I'm not perfect by any means. You know, I still fall, but I pick myself back up, you know, but I fall a lot, but I do things like go to the Hoffman process.
Yeah.
I seek out. I've always been a very like seeker of self-help type of shit, you know?
Yeah.
You
I wanna-
are a constant work in
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah,
You're never static.
I
Yeah.
do the work, you know, and I read the books and I look out for
Yeah.
things like that because I do want to be a better version of myself. I know that in the past, I haven't, you know, in the past, I was just feeding my ego, you know, but I needed that because my ego was never stroked, you know. I was always the one that was picked last. I was always on the sidelines, you know. So when I got a little bit of spotlight, I was like, I'm gonna run with this, you know. And I was just saying crazy off the top thing because I needed to experience that. And now I look back and I was like, man, I made a fool of myself a couple times. I said a couple of dumb things, but in that moment, there's no regrets because I needed that. I needed to experience that side of me that needed to act that way. So now I can. I didn't take it with me. I let it go, and now you know I'm learning as what to do as the new me because I think that listen, there's things that I thought were set in stone, that were concrete. And then like 5 years down the line, I don't think that way no more, or I don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so therefore, as long as I'm learning and life is teaching me things that are going to help me to be a better man, a better friend, a better father, a better, you know, husband, then it's all good if I'm learning from it. If I'm not, then my fault.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
yeah, I feel like we doing what we're supposed to do right now because I remember meeting you, and you had just dropped like Gothic Summer,
Yeah.
and I was just preparing the first season of Wong's World,
Yeah.
and both of us were kind of at the first time feeling this like, oh wow, like I have a microphone, I got a megaphone, and it's funny because you get a microphone first, you're like, yeah, hey, check one, hey, check this out, hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we definitely farted on the mic a couple
Absolutely.
times, but like what you're not enjoying life if someone gives you a mic and you don't fucking fart on it.
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta be stupid a
you
little
have
bit.
to. And I was, you know, I was going crazy. And I and I realized that like in that moment, because sometimes I'm like, do I regret that? Like, no, man, I think there was a part of me that needed to experience that.
Yeah.
You know, that needed just like now I'm like wanting to experience love, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I think in the past, and I needed to experience what it's like to be being used, you know, by a chick, or I needed to experience everything, you know,
Yeah,
what
for
I
sure.
needed to experience being betrayed by your best friend. I needed to experience all those things so that I can live a life full of experiences, which is I
Totally.
think the really a treasure because then I can take that with me, share it with my son, share it with my
Yeah.
loved ones,
You can apply it everywhere all the time.
yeah,
For
to
sure.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe some of you can,
Yeah.
you know,
That's-
relate.
Yeah.
Relate. But oh, I dropped something.
Oh, you good?
I think can you still
Is the
hear me?
mic-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
we're-
good.
But you know, life is good, man.
It is.
Yeah. That's good.
Life
I'm
is-
happy.
Yeah, life
Yeah.
is good. I can't complain. If anything, you know, it's become more exciting now that I'm married and have my boy.
That's how we.
It's more exciting. It's a good
Yeah.
excitement. But listen, I'm gonna tell you, it's also scary.
Yeah.
Because before my wife and son, I had no fear, bro. I was ready to get down
Yeah.
or whatever. Any day
Yeah.
you could kill me. I was like, I'm good. Now that I have my son and my wife, I'm always like, I want to, you know what I mean? It's a different.
I
It's like an
fully
Achilles heel.
experience that.
It's an
now.
Achilles heel.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that nothing happens to them and that they're okay. It's a but I don't let it consume me,
Yeah.
but it's something that I didn't have before. I didn't give a fuck
Yeah.
before.
It's like
Things
things
matter.
matter. And
The
I
things-
even noticed too, it's like we'll be driving.
Even what you're eating
and
probably now, right?
What I'm eating, if
Yeah.
we're in the car, I'm looking at everyone else. Like if we're in the
Absolutely.
car, like I'll be like, babe, turn. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
crazy. I never cared before.
I
I would
didn't
be in the
care.
car, like I don't even know.
Yeah,
I would be
feet out the
driving and I'd be like,
window
I
and
don't even
shit.
know if I'm driving. Like I was checked out thinking about other
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah, me.
Now I'm
I don't
like,
fucking
no,
have
no.
my nothing. Like when I'm
Yeah.
with my boy,
I'm
oh vigilant,
so
bro. I'm
dialed.
like
Yeah.
vigilant wherever I am with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like,
It
some
changes
people,
you.
It
have
makes you a man, baby.
Yeah.
yeah, some people
And it
have
makes
tried
you
to
a
put
woman.
crazy shit in my head where they're like, yo, you know she's gonna love the baby more than you. And I'm like, yo, we are partners
Yeah.
in raising
Yeah.
this child. Like, shut the fuck up.
Hey, listen,
I
always.
hate people.
I gotta tell you something.
Yeah.
To all of you guys, look, we love our children, we love our parents, but when you get married, your allegiance is to your wife
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
your husband, and
Yeah.
wife to your husband. Your allegiance is to her,
Mm-hmm.
your allegiance is to him. Of course, we love our child. Of course, we love our parents, and of course, we love our friends. But your allegiance, boom, boom,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
straight up.
One of the illest
Always,
things
bro.
my mom said to me, because I be beefing with my mom recently and stuff too.
I get it.
But she gave me like some really cool. She goes,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Yeah.
listen. At the end of the day, you have a family now.
Yeah.
This is your family.
Yeah.
I'm always your mother. Your brothers, that's always your family." But she's like, "Yo, all of us want you happy.
Yeah.
Think about you have a new family now. Don't be still getting mad about what happened when we were kids. Just like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just start your family, and we're all gonna be cheering for you." I'm like, "Yo, I love you, mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
love
She's
you.
right. She's
Yeah.
right.
This is my family."
Yeah.
It
You
is.
know, and like, but much love to my brothers. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
always my brother.
Yes, much
Yeah.
love to my brothers, to my siblings, man, my sisters,
Yeah.
my kid, my friends, to the world that supports
Yeah.
me. Thank you for putting a roof over my head, man.
This is just growing up.
Yeah.
This is grown man shit. And
Yeah.
like, I would say to anybody listening that's going through this, or like maybe you got a partner that just met a girl or having a kid, whatever. Yo, be happy. Be
Yeah,
happy for
absolutely.
them.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna lose the friend. The only way you're gonna lose a friend is if you start worrying about losing the friend.
Yeah.
You have to, like, if you're a true friend, you have to let your friends grow and change and make new connections and make new experiences. But no, like, humans actually are bottomless with the amount of love that we have. The
Absolutely.
amount of love and
Totally.
energy we have for each other is actually bottomless. And like, I've experienced this on Molly for 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Like, it's in there.
Yeah.
It's in there. And it's just like, you have enough
Yeah.
love. I think certain friends are like, yo, I want it to be like it always was. And it's like, yo,
No, impossible.
No, things
If
have
you-
to change always.
Impossible. I mean, I listen. I do have homies back in the neighborhood that are still hanging out outside of the liquor store drinking a King Cobra, you know, and you know they're holding it down, you know, but and still living with moms, you know, and keeping it real. But at some point, you know, you're doing yourself a disservice, you know, by keeping it,
yeah,
holding it down like that for too long. We have to evolve. We have to change. We have to grow.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
That's
we
how you
have
learn.
to. It's like without it, like I think it'll make you miserable. I know a lot
Yeah.
of my friends that like, you know, are too focused on what I'm doing. It's because they're not doing anything.
Mhm.
yeah,
It's like, and it's a shame. You're mad at me because you're not doing anything. If you were doing something, you wouldn't even be focused on me.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't even give a fuck what I'm doing, where I'm living, who I'm married to. It would mean nothing to you.
Don't
But
watch
it
me,
means
watch
something to
TV.
you because you're still in the corner drinking that King Cobra on your phone, just watching what I'm doing instead of saying, hey, let me put some energy into me. You know, my life changed in so many ways the minute I started focusing on me and the people I wanted around me. And when I started putting that energy into me, that was really when prayers and everything started developing, was because I finally started saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna see what happens when I invest the energy, time, and money that I was investing into other people, into myself. Let's see
Yeah.
what happens when I do that.
Yeah, and she taught me this. When I have a homie or somebody that's hating on me that I have a lot of love for, I just like pray to the universe. When 1111 come up on the phone, I'll pray for that homie
Yeah.
and be like, yo, I wish that person success, because
Yeah.
I feel like once they're successful, then they can actually show you that same love y'all used to have.
Yeah,
In a lot of ways,
Yeah.
when
It
people are
is.
mad, it's because something's wrong with them.
For
absolutely.
sure.
It's
Rarely
absolutely.
ever has anything to do with the person receiving.
No, it's just
You
we're
know?
reflecting what
Yeah.
they want, or
For
they're seeing the things
sure.
they can't have, but they can. You know, everyone can. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of like just going after it and just
Yeah.
really getting off that chair or that
Yeah.
sidewalk and just going like, yo, let me go put in this work, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no different from nobody. I have a lot of friends, you know, that are doing life in prison. I love them, man. I keep in, you know, I have my boy Smurf, man. I love you, Smurf. You know, he's doing life in prison and he's one of the most positive persons in my life. Every once in a while, we get on the phone and he keeps me going, man. He's like, he didn't let prison just like consume him. You know, he could have been in there and become a black hole. Instead, he's like a beacon of light, and he's always like
Wow.
lifting me up. So that proved to me that it's the individual. Sometimes it doesn't even matter your environment. You know, like you can be in a fucked up environment, and if you're good on the inside, it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
You know, and shout out to you, Smurf. I love you, carnal. You know, he's
Yeah.
good, solid brother, man. Always gives me the best advice, man.
Yeah.
Always, you know, there's moments where, you know, when I was having, we know, got married and stuff, I was having problems with some of the people in my neighborhood that got really jealous, you know, with some of the homies. And there was one guy in specific that was just running his mouth so much. And, you know, as an adult, I felt like I had to prove myself again. And I'm like, dude, I've already proved myself. I'm 48 now. I'm already proved myself to these, you know, I've been stabbed, you know, I've been shot. Like, how much more do I have to prove myself,
Yeah.
you
Stop
know?
proving.
Like, just because I,
Yeah.
yeah, just because I paint my nails doesn't mean like all that stuff got
Yeah.
erased, you know, that stuff's
Yeah.
still there.
Well, because they're still there.
They're still there.
That's
Yeah.
why. And I'm like, but if you don't like being there, do
Get
something.
out.
Don't be mad because you kept evolving and shedding skin. Like
Yeah.
that's what a snake does.
That's what it's the serpent.
Yeah.
So
you know?
I there was a moment where I fell for it. I fell for the trap. And I was like, okay, I gotta go down there and
Yeah.
catch a fade.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm gonna go down there and catch a fade. So of course I can't say that to my old lady. So my homeboy had passed away. When my homeboy passed away, I thought that was a great time for me to go down there and we'll all be there and I can go to the funeral and catch a fade at the same time. So I hit that dude up. I said, hey man, I'm gonna be at the homie's thing. I'm gonna be there, say that stuff,
Yeah.
you know? And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna mop the floor with you. Yeah, come on, boom, boom. And I talked to my boy Smurf. And Smurf's like, bro, what are you doing, bro? Like, no. And he's doing life. And he's in
Yeah.
general population. He's like a big homie. He's like, no, man. He'd call me termite. No, termite. What are you doing, man? You're married to Kat Von D. What are you doing? You got 2 strikes, bro. What are you doing? And he begged me not to go. Unfortunately, he did not talk me out of it because the ego is weak, and sometimes the ego is stronger. And this is why I had to go to the Hoffman process, because I really
Yeah.
needed to let go of my ego.
Yeah, like
I
detach from
really
that.
just let go of that stuff, and it's good because stuff has been happening and I haven't been
That's
Yeah.
reacting, so it's
That's
working.
amazing.
But so, you know, this is before Hoffman. So I'm like, yeah, and I'm playing along with him. Oh yeah, you know, you're absolutely right, man. He's gonna take it from me, man. Look, I'm doing life in prison. Oh no, Smurf, you're right. You're right, Smurf. No problem. I get off the phone with him in the morning, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I drive down to San
Yeah.
Diego. I go to the
Oh.
park. I go to the funeral, and everyone's being nice to me. Hey, oh, Terma, you drove down, man. That means can't believe you drove down from LA, man. Your busy schedule to be here with, man. You're a real one. But inside, I'm like anxiety. I'm just looking. Yeah. Thanks. I'm here, and I'm just looking
Yeah.
for this dude everywhere. And finally, I see some of his homies because we're from 2 different cliques.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
from the same gang, but 2 different cliques.
Yeah.
We're both from Sherman, but I'm from 27 and he's from 20s.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, yeah. And then finally I see some of his homies, and I'm like, hey, where's da-da-da-da? Oh, dude, he got locked up last night.
No.
And I was like, oh, he got locked up? He's like, yeah. And then the minute they said he got locked up, it's like all the anxiety and everything just went. And then I was able to just be present.
Because
That's
not for nothing, you
crazy,
didn't
though.
want that.
I didn't want that.
it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want
But
that.
then I was there, and now I was present. Now I really was like, oh, now I'm really here for my friend's funeral.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe that the guy that passed away was, rest in peace, Frosty, man. I love you so much, brother. He's one of my best friends, bro. You know what I mean? And I was not present.
Mm.
You know, I should have been present. I wasn't. I was just looking for like, I'm gonna get down the minute I see this guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt ashamed of it. You know, I feel ashamed of it, and then nothing happened, and whatever. I moved on. But again, to bring it back around, yeah, man, I was trying to feed the ego, immature. Still, things got the best of me, you know. But now I'm in a place where if that was to happen again, dude, water off a duck's back. I would be like, yo, run your mouth all you want, bro. I'm good. I'm in a castle with my queen and my king
Respect.
and my
sure.
prince. You know,
Yeah.
I'm good. But yeah, it takes a lot, man, because you gotta understand also. You guys gotta understand. I've been a certain way for 44 years.
Yeah.
I've only been this guy for 4 years. I'm
Yeah.
48.
Yeah, this is brand new.
So I've only had 4 years of this guy who's married and loves life and feels like he has something to live for.
Yeah.
For 44 years, I had nothing to live for.
Yeah.
It was all
Yeah.
ego driven and like, let's go to war. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm 48, 44 years of this. So of
Totally.
course, sometimes the scales are going to easier.
Well, it's comfortable because that's all you knew. You want to always dip back into what's comfortable.
Yeah.
That like behavioral pattern, whatever it is. It's if you've been, I don't care if it's 5 years, if you're a 5-year-old kid, you're going to do what you've been doing for those 5 years forever. It's
listen,
so hard to get out.
Maybe when I'm 88, right?
Yeah. Because you'll have more time spent on the other side.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be though, cause it's me and you both. We smaller guys. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not that big. And
I'm a
it's
small
like,
dude, yeah.
Yeah, my dad was always just like, yo, if you don't want to get picked on at school, whoever steps to you first, you got to hit them hard.
Yeah.
And that was what I learned is just hit them hard.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I got respect for that. And
Yeah.
people would back off for that. And then now I'm old and I'm like, bro, I'm too old for that shit.
No, we can't. We can't.
Yeah.
We got too much
respects
to
that.
lose, and
Yeah.
You have to
it's-
respect yourself.
Listen, only
Yeah.
I will listen. I did a lot of therapy, and I actually did a lot of hypnosis too.
Oh, word.
And the reason I did a lot of hypnosis was because I really needed a lot of help with my short temper, and I have that Napoleon complex. You know, I have a short man complex. You know.
Yeah.
So now I walk around with my boy, my bodyguard, my clown. Come over here, man. Show your
Yeah,
face
the
real
big
quick.
homie.
Come flex the muscle.
You got the big homie.
Yeah, I got the big
now.
homie. So come over here, jump on the camera real quick. Just so do a flex.
Yeah, Julius, we show him real quick. Yeah.
Yeah,
There
do a
you go.
flex, baby. Yeah. Show my boy Vampiro. Vampiro. So
Yeah.
then so I did a lot of hypnosis to help me with these issues. And one of the things that it really did a number on me, and I fell in love with it. But one of the things that I realized that, well, because I needed the reason I started doing the hypnosis along with the Hoffman process was to allow me to have that space before reacting, you know, so that I don't have to react so fast. And man, I lost my train of thought.
My bad. Did I interrupt?
No, I did it. I did it when I was like
whoa.
Vampiro. But it's all love, man. You
But
know,
yo,
you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yo,
anyways.
I know what you're talking about, and also because Julius got rehearsal in a couple of minutes anyway. But like, bro, we gotta keep in touch. I gotta
Let's
see
do
you
it.
more than like
Let's do round 2,
once every
maybe
3
round
years.
3.
And
Yeah.
like, you know, like, bro, it's today's a Kazemi. It's like a big astrological day.
Yeah.
And I was reading astrology. They're like, yo, today is like the honey pot. Pause. They're just like, today is just like a day full of like joy and sweetness and all those things. And I knew you were on the calendar, but dog, I had no idea how much you had grown spiritually, and that like you and I are just, it just feels like we on a similar path. Like
Parallel.
every time I fucking see you, we in the same pocket.
Hey, dude, every time. We were running into each other in taco shops.
Yeah,
like it's crazy.
Yeah.
When I ran into you at a taco shop, you were wearing a Mexican flag shirt.
fucking boxing
That's my
shirt.
boy, bro.
My boy from jail made this
Yeah.
shit. And because there was a dude, the guy that make everybody go to bed at night, he had an electric poker.
Yeah.
And was like, yo, if you don't go to bed, I'm gonna hit you with the hot shit.
Yeah.
So on the back of that sweatshirt, it says hit him with the hot shit.
Yeah.
It's my man Santana.
Oh my
And
God.
Baruch. But bro, it's
I
the
love
most
you.
love
I
ever.
love you,
man.
Eddie.
I love
you. I love you
That's
too,
so- yeah.
girl. I love you too.
That's wifey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
so happy for the two of
Aw,
you,
thank
man.
you.
And excited.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
excited for the
We're
two of you.
excited,
I mean,
yeah.
it completes the family, you know? It's you
Yeah.
know what's funny? I had so recently, I know we're almost done, but I
No,
still
dude,
keep
come
going.
on,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
Come
no.
on.
So
bro.
I think this is amazing. And so many you guys having a baby.
Yeah.
I recently was doing a new bio for prayers. So my agent was like, "You need a new bio because you're getting booked all these shows, and like it still has the old information that it was you and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
you need to do a new bio." So I ran into this guy in the streets one day, I was in Larchmont, and I just ran into this random guy, and he's like, "Oh my God, Leafar Seyer," and he started like talking about me in this crazy way. I was like, "Bro," I was like, "You got to do my bio."
Yeah.
Right? Because he was like, "You're this and you're that,"
That's so
but in
good.
such a like, I mean, he just had game, right?
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, "Whoa, man, I'm cool."
Yeah,
He made me
yeah.
feel cool, right?
Yeah.
So I said, "Hey, bro, dude, you got to do my bio, man." It's crazy. My agent asked me for a new bio, and everything you said, can we just? So we did, and I ended up. It was too grandiose that I was like,
Yeah.
I ended up just
Save it down
simplifying
a
it to
little
like
bit.
prayers, electronic music, right? But he was like, the sky opened and all this stuff, and I was like, whoa, it's too much. But we had a little meeting, and I said, "Hey, so what's up, man? What do you do?" And he's like, "Well, I'm working on this new business." He's like, "I'm a banker, but I'm working on this new business model for solo agers." And I said, "What's a solo ager? I've never heard that term
Oh
before."
my God.
He said, "Well, I'm a solo ager, and there's a lot of this next generation of adults are not having children.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
They're not
marrying.
having children, so there's going to be a lot of solar agers, and I want to get ahead of it and have this
Wow.
program for like people who, like elderly homes.
Yeah, they don't have
But these
anyone.
but for programs for people like he broke it down in this. It was too smart for me. I was like, I don't understand. This
Yeah,
is
he's
crazy smart.
living in like the
Yeah, but
future.
this guy's gonna be a billionaire. Like he's
Yeah.
already like, I got this plan, I got people investing. It's the
Yeah.
future, man. Like people are not having kids, and I was like, whoa, it just blew my mind because
Yeah.
I was like solo ager, and then I was like, damn, I know a lot of solo agers. I
Same.
know a lot of people my age. A lot of my homies in the music in LA, solo agers, but you
Yeah.
guys are not.
We not, baby. We not.
Let's end it with
We
that.
not. We not. No solo agents.
Yeah,
bro.
man.
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, no
Stop
solo
it with that.
agers.
You know what it is people are not vulnerable enough to do love and children because it's scary.
Yeah.
You worry if you're good enough. You worry if
Yeah.
people look. You worry if
Yeah.
you're gonna be a good parent. But I will tell y'all, we meant to do this.
Yeah. Not just
That's
that.
why God gave you the hammer.
The hammer.
The
The hammer of God, baby.
Yeah.
Listen. Also, you're never gonna be ready.
No.
You
No.
just gotta do it. There's no such thing as I'm gonna wait for this, wait for
For
that,
sure.
wait for. No, you just do it, and then you
Yeah.
move forward.
Drop
I
the
think-
album. Just drop the
Yeah.
album.
Just drop the
No,
album.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yo, last question is because the wifey was going through all your influences.
Yeah.
And I listen to Mad Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
But
Pet
I
Shop
had to give
Boys.
credit. You put me on because I knew them, but I was never that deep until
Yeah.
I started listening to your music.
Yeah.
And then I went back to like
I didn't even
unpack.
know that. That's so funny. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's literally
All I
90% of what he listens to.
Yeah.
It's because of you.
Yeah.
Dude, I love
But
it.
what,
I didn't
what,
even
what
know
was
that.
it that got you into that and Bauhaus and all that?
Well, for me, Pet Shop Boys, it was West End Girls. I mean, when there's something about that song, man.
Yeah.
It's just the vibe. Whenever
Yeah.
I hear that song, I don't know. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm literally transported into this place that just makes me feel amazing.
Yo,
you
I
know?
love Rent. Rent fucking cracks me
Rent
up.
is
I'll
so
pay
good.
your
Your
rent.
Ew.
And like love comes at you quick. That
all
shit,
of
Yeah.
it.
bro,
Love
I
comes-
get
yeah.
so emotional when that shit comes on.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, yeah. You know that I directed one of their music videos?
No.
It's
No
called
way.
21 something. 21 something? Yeah.
But
Check
what,
it out.
what got you into it? Like, cause yo, from your
Well,
background,
so listen, I did grow up in a Chicano neighborhood. I grew up in gangs, but I went to Pacific Beach Middle School, and that was like a school that was in the beach with all the white homies,
Yeah.
you know? So I grew up around a lot of white homies,
Yeah.
and they put me on to music. So I had two worlds that I was living. I was
Yeah.
going back to the neighborhood, you know? And so I had that. And then when I would go to school, I had all my white homies who were surfers and skaters and punk rockers, and I would listen to what they were listening to, and it would just I would listen to all of it, you know. So back in those days, I know you know I'm older than you, yeah, 'cause
yeah,
I'm
a
40.
little bit.
So back in those days, remember people were kind of defined by
Yeah.
what they listened to
And what
So
they wore,
So
yeah.
you couldn't listen crossover.
I
You
tell
could
her
only
this
listen.
shit.
Yeah, he
No,
tells me this
back
all
in
the
the
time,
days,
yeah.
if you listen to hip hop, that's all you
Yeah,
listen
you
to.
had
Yup.
to be that person.
You couldn't listen to rock.
so
I
And
had
if
to
you listen-
secretly listen to this other shit.
Because
It
he'll
was
always
like
tell me, he's
that.
like, how do you know all these different, all this shit?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I listen to all of it.
Yeah.
He's like, that's crazy. That
Yeah,
you,
because it wasn't
could
like
do
that.
No.
Yeah.
Growing up back then,
Yeah.
it was like people would get in fights over like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I'm a rocker,
'Cause
or
you
I'm
had
a
to be
stoner,
that
I'm
person,
a
yeah.
hip hop guy. But so because I've always, you know, if it's good, it's good, you know.
Yeah.
So I would just kick it with my homies after school, smoke some weed at the beach, and then you know, I'm sober now for 40 plus years, but back then I used to do a lot of LSD, man. I
Yeah.
would just hang out at the
Yeah.
beach with all my homies, with all my white homies, and we just like listen to music, watch the waves, and just
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
that beach life, you know. I live multiple realities simultaneously,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
all my life. So
Would you ever like dip in, like take what you were listening to with like your surfer homies and like bring it back to your
yeah, I
neighborhood
used to
and
do.
show?
I used to do that. I also
Yeah.
used to bring acid down to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You're
I used to
like,
take
"This
PCP
shit's
up to the
good."
fucking white homies.
I was like that
Yeah.
with like electronic and Florida breaks music.
Okay.
Like, because the other homies weren't listening to it, and then me and a couple got into it, and it was like fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You
funny
know?
back then. Back then, it used to be. I remember I used to be very proud of like discovering music, like
Yeah.
new music, and
Yeah.
almost felt like, oh. And I almost, when I would share it with my friends, and like I remember like when Cypress Hill first came out, and I was listening to Cypress Hill, and I started putting it on to my friends, and then Cypress Hill got big. I felt I was responsible for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm responsible
Yeah.
for Cypress Hill being
funny,
big because
dog.
I let all my friends
So
listen.
Yeah.
funny.
And then you're like, I put y'all on it, but
It
everyone
was
else.
just my little block. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. But that
That's
means a
funny.
lot, bro.
Yeah.
You be
Back in
banging
the
it.
days, you know, that's how. Now it's like, who knows, man?
Yeah.
It's just like
There's
it's interesting, man. You know what's interesting? It's the new generation or
Yeah.
our kids, you know,
I
growing
think
up.
about
How
this.
so it's gonna be cool to
Yeah.
Yeah.
see that.
But no, I had to end with that because I'm like, yo, since I've met you all these years, like I never told you, but bro, that's all I listen to now. It's like
Yeah.
synth
That's
pop, lo-fi
dope.
from like
Yeah.
England.
Yeah, shout out to the homie I Dress. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
He's
yo,
killing
shout
it.
out
he's in the
Idris.
band. That's
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
that's
in
right,
his
that's
band.
right.
Yeah.
Julius. Yo, that's our man's.
Yeah.
Idris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the god. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro.
Because you and him kind of keeping this shit going.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Someone has to.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, Papa,
I
I
got
love
it.
you.
Love
I
you,
love you,
bro.
hermano.
Love you.
Yo, I gotta shout out my boy Tracy,
Yo,
Los Angeles.
Yes.
I love
fan.
it. The Idris link,
You
bro.
know? Tracy, come on, man.
Yup. Tracy.
I gotta
Julius
show
from the
my boy
band.
love, man.
Great episode. Yo, this is fire.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah, it's
fire.
I
really
love it.
Yeah, incredible. Like for real, the most fun we had
Come
in a
on,
minute.
baby. I love it, man. I appreciate
For
you so
real.
much.
Yeah, same, man.
I'm like, I want to keep going, but I'll be sleeping.
Bro, I would have to shit the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
I think I will be. I'm gonna take a shit while Julius mics him up.
I was like, you're gonna take a fast shit like that?